I think I overbooked myself this past weekend. Yet it was a lot of fun, and I would do it again. Hi, and welcome to Quilt Meets World, where we have adventures in piecing and joy. I'm Russ. Come on into my sewing room. Thursday started out pretty bad. Walked into the office and it reeked. It was smelling like fermenting fruit. Why? Because people are gross. Uh, Apparently, they had some sort of event in the office on Wednesday where things were catered, and they had a big giant fruit bowl, which nobody basically ate, and they left it out in the middle of our work quad. And yeah, it was left out overnight. Janitorial services, I don't think exists most of the time. Maybe like once a month, if that, because the straw that you saw maybe last week or the week before is still there. Either way, yeah, they don't clean anything that's not in the break room, and it was sitting out, and oh, it was horrible. So I took it upon myself to pick it up, move it into the break room, and let the stench go in there. Maybe let some fruit flies appear there. I don't care what happened as long as the smell got away from here. Thankfully, I have a fan which helps blow the stuff away from me. But yeah, it was bad. So after I moved everything, I went and got breakfast from the cafeteria. Yeah. I think I mentioned last week that, somebody doesn't quite know how to make over medium eggs. And yeah, this time they were even more well done Tuesday. And I didn't notice this until I got back to my desk. And like, they were just dry, like perfect for an egg sandwich, but not for, consuming egg by eating with potatoes. So I sent an email to the manager of the cafeteria and was like, okay, can something be done about this guy? Because he can't cook eggs. I know eggs are expensive, but I'm going to start checking my stuff before I leave. And if they're wrong, I'm going to make them redo it. And with the price of eggs, that's going to get expensive fast. I know that I don't have to worry when one guy cooks because he's awesome. He never makes anything bad. But this other guy, it seems like every time the eggs are just a little bit, usually a little bit overcooked, but sometimes just overly over. So I just said, can something be done? She responded back and said, what time was your order? And I said, about what time it was. And she goes, okay, I just need to make sure I addressed the right person. And I'm like, I described who he was. There's only like one person that fits his description. So, got an email over the weekend that said she had addressed it, but I now have it in my head that says I need to check when he's cooking to make sure my eggs are cooked right. So, yeah, didn't start out good in the morning, but all wasn't lost. I got happy mail on Thursday. I think I mentioned when I was out gallivanting with my friend Candace a couple weeks ago. Found out that I can basically drop all my machines off for what they call boarding if I'm going to be out on vacation and stuff. And I am going to be out for like a week and change in May. So I was like, I can drop everything off then. Then I realized I've got a carrying case for my travel machine. I have a carrying case for my embroidery machine because I got that one free with my purchase. But I don't have a carrying case for my Brother BQ 3050. And I was like, okay, I need to figure out what I'm going to get. And I just started researching because we all know the Tudo carriers are the best. They have all the space, they have all the storage, and they have all the wheels to make it easier. So I started researching and found out the size that I needed, which is an XL, so bigger than the one that I have for my travel machine. It's expected, it's a wide machine. And I'm going through the websites trying to figure out, okay, which one do I want? And I saw this really pretty purple one with diamonds on it. And I was like, ooh, I kind of like that. But then we also remembered that I'm Russ. And they have a Tulip Pink Untamed edition that. And I started researching prices, and it was only like 20 or $30 more to get the Tulip one. And even though it's not going to be moving often, I'm like, I need the Tula. So that came on Thursday, and let me tell you, it's so pretty. I very excited about it. It's going to be basically in storage 99% of the time, but anytime that my machine needs to go out for a spa day, uh, machine will go out in style. So very excited, all happy. And now all I have to do is make sure I have everything all ready in a handful of weeks so that I can take it all to the shop and send them off to be boarding. I have to figure out when I can pick them up so that I make sure I have something for my live after I get back. But that's in the future. That's for future Russ to deal with. Saturday, oh my goodness, that was an intense day. Like a lot of the stuff was scheduled in and out of things, and in my defense, if I had a calendar, I probably would have shifted, but I don't necessarily keep a big full calendar for my YouTube stuff because I don't normally have a lot going on. You guys know this. You see me live on Saturdays, and then occasionally you will see me on somebody else's channel. It happens. So I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever is when it happens, it happens. But like the trifecta happened, and it was a blast. It started out bright and early on my friend Sean, the guy who sews channel. It was like way early for what I'm normally used to being sociable, but it's still a lot of fun. I was working on some of these blocks, which now have been shown in various renditions, which is going to be a graduation quilt. So had a lot of fun chit chatting with him, chit chatting with the viewers, and yeah, we started talking about some interesting stuff. And I don't know why we get onto weird subjects, but that's when you find out that people know stuff about weird stuff. But after I was done with his show, I went grabbed breakfast real quick, cashed in my scratch ticket that I won on. And they didn't have any more scratch tickets, so she's like, "Well, you can get a Fantasy 5." I'm like, "Okay, sure, give me a quick pick." Uh, Spoiler alert, didn't win. Nothing. So at least it wasn't my dollars that I lost. Came back and I was on my live, which I had my good friend Stephanie of Quilting with Stephanie Stitches. We were working on Bumbleberry Pie month 10. Yeah, I got the even numbers. So yeah, we did month 10. Yeah. The best part was catching up with Stephanie. I felt like I hadn't talked to her in ages, and we had a lot of fun talking. And I made a boo boo. I was working on things, following the pictures in the pattern, and I started going like, "This isn't lining up." And I was lost. Like, why does this not line up? This doesn't make sense that it's not lining up. And I just started looking at things, I'm like, I bet I was tired last night, and instead of doing the 7/8 off of here, I may have actually done a 3/8 because you flip your ruler upside down, you're not pulling off the same line. Done that before. So I quickly went over there, recut another 7/8 and come back in here, and I'm like, it's still not lining up. So I read the directions, which is what I should have done in the first place. Kind of did. I just didn't read right. Happens. Guy. Um, so I had done my half square triangles half an inch too. So I was able to start fixing some of those. And as I was going even further, I had sewn a piece on upside down. I was like, okay, I'm done for the day. I can't deal with this anymore. I apparently either didn't have enough caffeine in me or had too much caffeine in me. And it was also getting to the end of my life. So basically, I cut my stuff loose and said, I'll worry about that with homework. I had stuff planned. So, yeah, I have homework for Bumbleberry Pie, which isn't normally a big thing, but the blocks I would have done slightly different. I understand why the pattern designer wrote it the way she wrote it. I would have wrote it differently just to make it easier to follow. But it's too late. I got to do it this way. Then at 5 o'clock, I was on live on Stephanie's channel with her and a few friends as we worked on Dragon Fruit, which is a block of the month from Fat Quarter Shop featuring Tula Pink fabric. And I kind of got enabled. Uh, hasn't arrived yet, but I did order it. Everybody has been talking. Like we have already started talking about the butterfly, and I already have that. I have the pattern. I have the kit. May have a source for templates, but I'm still waiting to hear back from that. We will see. Uh, but after that, everybody's talking about Solar Flare from Tula Pink. And apparently, a few people already have it, and more people want to buy it. So I was like, okay, let me buy it before Etsy or something just starts jacking up the price. So I was on live with Stephanie and crew as I purchased Solar Flare. But I did get some good progress done on Dragon Fruit during the live. I was able to show one block completed thanks to the magic of television. So we have that, and I knew that I was going to be able to do the rest of the blocks for homework during my sewing shenanigans. So fast forward onto Sunday, got up bright early, bushy tailed, and ate my breakfast and came in here and hosted Sewing Shenanigans. Anybody who doesn't know, Sewing Shenanigans is a Zoom that comes up randomly, roughly once a month, and um, free for anybody to join. And we just sit here, chit chat with each other, try to enable each other sometimes. Which I had to holler out a few times that I was not enabling somebody. Like, I just needed to make it clear that it wasn't me that did it. And it's always a lot of fun. If you want to join in, you can always just watch for my vlogs. I tell them out about less than a week in advance, and anybody who's on my mailing list gets to know a few days earlier than everybody else. So you can send me an email and say, hey, put me on your sewing shenanigans email list, and I will get you added, and you will be one of the first to know next time I have one. But I was working on the dragon fruit homework first, and I got all of the 6-inch units done, which means all I have left is to trim them up and put them into a 12-inch block. I didn't do the trimming on Sunday because I trim over there and I didn't want to have my back to everybody. Seems rude if you have to keep your back from everybody and you're the host. So I was just like, I'll just stay over here and figure it out. But then I was working on these blocks, continuation of those from Sean's, and I showed one of the blocks, and it just happened to be one of the random blocks. So there's 12 of these blocks. I just picked one up and showed it, and everybody was like, "Wait, wait, wait, wait! What is that supposed to be in the center?" And I'm like, "Oh, thank you for finding the mistake." It happens. They're difficult to like. Since I want to make sure all of the pieces nested, I had a methodology for pressing every piece. And as I was putting things down here, like I still had some issues pressing a couple of them in the right direction, but putting them back onto my little design board, I had one of the pieces turned. And I was like, oopsie. So I spent a few minutes with my trusty seam ripper and ripped out basically, I ripped out one entire row, the half, and I ripped out a few other pieces just to get it out, sewed it back together. It only took me like 10 minutes to do it, just because, again, I knew how the blocks went together. I knew how to take them apart very quickly, efficiently. So, got the fix, and it was easy. So now I just have all the 12 blocks. I have to get them all pressed, and then it's time to start sashing them. I gotta get sashing cut because, yeah, need to get it done. Need to get it done. It was a good week all in all. So, two thumbs up. Since I had a pretty good week last week, what is coming up this week? Uh, First Saturday for my 11sies, I'm planning on putting the blocks into rows and maybe even, together into the center of the quilt. I have all the instructions, I have the fabric, I just need to get it cut into whatever size square rectangles and figure out which of the background color or the foreground colors is going to be my cornerstones. That way I have things up the video. That's how I cheat to get, things to line up. Do your blocks in rows with cornerstones. That way you have something to line up with. Um, so we will see how far I get on my elevensies, and after that, I am going to be joining my friend Steven's pop-up sew day to hopefully get the rest of it together. It'll be, you know, bit of work, but wrestling everything underneath here is going to be a challenge because I haven't really put together a full quilt with a camera in front of me, and they like people to be on camera during the sew days, which I think is perfectly acceptable. So we will see what kind of stuff happens. If you're on the sew day, just watching my stuff. If you see it shake, it's because I got a lot of fabric moving through. On Sunday, I will be live on my channel again at 1 p.m. Eastern, and we will be sewing up the March block for the Kona 2025 block of the month. I have a few friends who will be joining me. It's always fun sewing with them. And the good thing is, with the Kona block of the month, I have a little bit more ease in, making sure, okay, if I put the wrong piece in the wrong place, as long as it's still in the right shape, it's fine because it's all, you pick your stuff. So I will have some fun picking out my colors and making all the triangles that are needed to get it put together and to chat with friends. So yeah, it's going to be a kind of busy weekend. It's not going to be anywhere near as intense as last weekend was, but it's going to be a nice, fun, chill weekend. Anywho, I think that is going to be about it for today. Sharing my weekly shenanigans is one of the highlights I have each week. If you wouldn't mind making the YouTube algorithm happy, that would rock. You can do things such as liking and sharing this video, commenting below, or eating some pecan pralines. They get on my mind every time that first episode, the Ricardos are on the road to California and they see all the signs for Aunt Sally's pecan pralines. And, that was on the other day, and I was like, ooh, I want some. And I found them at Publix. Subscribing to my channel is free and a wonderful way of letting YouTube know you like my shenanigans. Ringing the bell icon next to the subscribe button gets you notified when I go live on Saturday mornings or upload any other videos, and especially when I go live this Sunday with Block of the Month. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and an awesome week. Until next time, stay happy and remember, always measure your life in love.